Hey everybody, thanks for joining us back here on the AIT YouTube channel. Today we're going to be going over a few basic principles, what you're going to want to look for when you're starting out in the industry, things you want to do to get some practice, and how you can become an actual drone service provider. So stick with us, subscribe to our channel, and share these videos. Thanks guys. This is AIT Drone. Welcome back everybody. We are in our offices in downtown Janesville here today. We're prepping for some projects tomorrow. So as everybody in the industry knows, we're charging batteries and calibrating sensors and getting everything packed up, making sure everything's ready to go. We got spare equipment and all that. So I thought I'd end the night tonight by making a quick video. We've had a bunch of discussions with people on our Facebook channel or our Facebook groups and LinkedIn and a few other places. People from all over the country and contacting us, asking us what can they do to become a drone service provider, what can they do to get into thermal imaging and 3D mapping and all of that. So I wanted to touch on some of those things. So a lot of people start out in the industry in photography. That's a good place to start. The drones all have cameras, and it's an easy place to start. There's a lot of small work out there, like real estate photography and stuff like that. But even with that, you want to remember that that's a real job. You know, people went to school to become photographers. People train for years and years to become proficient photographers, and it doesn't just come overnight. So you want to remember that the first thing you need to do is make a little list of the things that you're good at, the things you have some skills at, and then make a list of the things that you're willing to work really hard for, but you don't really have any skills yet. And then when you're planning what you're going to provide, the services you want to get into, start with those ones you have some skills at already. If you don't know anything about the field that you're trying to work in, you're never going to be able to provide your clients with a good product, you know. And that holds true in photography, it holds true in construction, 3D mapping, thermal imaging, everything. No matter what area we're talking about, you need to know what you're looking at. So we'll drift over to thermal imaging a little bit because we get a lot of those questions. Obviously, that's our specialty area. If you go to our website, you can see there's a lot of it on there, a lot of samples and everything. But thermal imaging is one of those that you really need to have a background in the field that you're looking at, whether it's construction inspections, farming, power line inspections, whatever you're trying to look at, you need to have a really strong background in that field. And sometimes that means hiring on somebody who actually has experience in that field and having them come on to teach you. And other times it means taking a class or getting a degree, or there's plenty of YouTube channels and light training that you can do just to see if you're really even interested in that. And the reason I focus in on that when it comes to thermal imaging and infrared is the cost of the sensors. You can go out and spend $50,000 on the sensors and a drone to carry it and all the peripheral stuff. So you really don't want to do that unless you know that that's where you're going to end up working and you know that you have something that you can provide clients with. And the only way to know that is to work in that industry. I had 20 years in facilities maintenance and electrical work, and then in farming on the side. So I understood electrical systems, I understood roofing systems, buildings and grounds. That's where I worked. I worked in repairs. And so when I started using my thermal imagers to mount to drones, I had already been in thermal imaging and infrared for 10 plus years, and the drones just came as a tool, and that's really all they are. They're just a tool to get a job done. So if you don't know what that job is, you're never going to be able to use that tool efficiently. And the big fear for us as drone service providers is that you'll go out there and you'll actually get some jobs and then won't be able to provide anything, and that client won't want you, they won't want AIT or anyone else. They'll think drones are basically useless, and we definitely don't want that. So get your baseline of practice in the field that you're going to work in, then buy lower end equipment to get practice with that. And obviously, if you haven't yet, start practicing for your Part 107 license. You're going to need your Part 107 and you're going to need insurance. So, and that jumps right into cost. So, you can get a lot of experience in the field you're going to work in, building that structure there at the bottom just to know that that's where you want to work. You can do a lot of that for free. Equipment, you can't. So, you're going to need to buy equipment just to practice, and we always suggest going with, DJI equipment, used DJI equipment, buy it on eBay. You don't need to go out and take out a loan or borrow money, take out a second mortgage or something. We've met a lot of people who have done this, been able to get together $50,000 or $100,000 and buy all this super awesome equipment and don't have anything to do with it. And even if you're a good salesperson, you're going to go out and get jobs and not know what to provide. So a lot of people say, well, I was reading on the DJI website, or I was reading on this website and that one, that I could do this and I could do that, and I could do search and rescue, and I could do... Trust me, every one of those is a real job. So flying the drone, if that's what you're interested in, go fly a drone in the race league. If actually providing a service is what you're interested in, then there's 100 of them out there, but you're not going to end up flying a drone most of the time. Most of the time you're going to be doing background work, whether it's prep and safety work, getting ready for projects like we're doing tonight, going over maps and planning it out to do it in the safest way possible, planning out all of our visual observers and our safety team. Even on a smaller scale project for facilities inspections and roofing inspections, we have to have 2 to 3 people on site just for safety purposes. It's not something you can just jump into. So I never turn anybody away. I always tell everyone to go after it. Go after what you want. Start driving towards another goal. That's the way I've always been, and I think everybody should be. You should always have something to work for. But in this industry, don't jump ahead by starting with buying stuff, okay? So once you get into that, once you start getting a baseline there and you've got a drone, a lower end drone, and you're practicing every single day, you're really clocking them hours, then you want to make sure that on the side you're working towards getting your license. And everybody's different. Some people it takes 6 months. Some people can get it done in a month if they really hit it hard and they can pass it on the first try. Some people don't. So you want to plan for that taking a couple of months to practice, learn the safety procedures, learn the airspace regulations, all that, weather, everything else that goes into a Part 107. And then before you ever still buy a sensor or go into something like that, you want to look at what it's going to cost for all your software and everything and plan for that, okay? It's going to be $500 a month probably for your software minimum, for your software and a small insurance policy. So, and these are things you can't get away without. So plan for that, plan for how you're going to do that, and still keep working, because 95% probably of the people who jump off into this and any industry and starting any business, that's why everybody always says 9 out of 10 businesses fail in the first year or two. This is no different. Just because there's work out there doesn't mean it's easy, doesn't mean it's easy to get, okay? So plan for that, plan for how you're going to pay for that stuff while you're working on your schooling and everything. The final part, as far as thermal imaging is concerned, and this actually holds true in surveys and photography, is actually buying the higher end equipment. And this is where you're going to make a pretty big investment. So again, you want to wait until you have some background in that field, and then when it comes to thermal imaging, infrared surveys, then you're going to actually need a lot of experience in that specific equipment, okay? FLIR offers some great training. There's a bunch of companies out right now that we've been doing some side training with for GNSS and survey stuff, but you're still probably going to have to take on a partner. Now, whether that's a legal partner or not, that's up to you. But I just mean work with somebody who has experience, okay? Had I not had the experience I did when I started out doing facilities inspections, I'd have been lost. I mean, and I see that all the time where clients send me images and they say, well, we had a roofing crew up here and they gave us these thermal images and it's just an orange picture. And it doesn't show anything because they were standing on the roof and they were taking an image from the roof. And all that's going to do is give you a 2 foot by 2 foot square view of whatever you're looking at. It doesn't show anything. That's the advantage, and some of our other videos are about when it comes to panning back with a drone. But when you pan back, you need a much higher resolution, right? Just like a camera. The further away you get, the higher resolution you're going to need, the better lens, all that. So plan for that. That's about it. That's the main first steps. And I know it sounds like a lot, and it kind of is, but it's really important that you want to become a good service provider, not just jump in and try to make some money real quick. If you want to try to make, 1 or 2 jobs and then you don't mind never getting business again, go ahead and dive right in, and your clients won't want you back. So the fear of that is they won't want anybody back. So we don't want that. We want to help people. We want to get you ready. So if you have any questions, throw it in the comments below. Feel free to email us anytime. Check out our website for more information. If there's something specific you'd like to see or a specific training that you would like to see, don't be afraid to put it in the comments or get a hold of us personally. Give us a call and tell us what suggestions you have, and we can start putting together some better training for you. But this should get you started and a good idea of where you need to go from where you're at. All right? So thanks for joining us. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. And as always, share this with anybody you think might be interested. And stay safe out there. Take care.